G'day there, Christian here from Affinity Dog Training in Sydney. You can probably find my details somewhere around. This video will be up on either my webpage or on the YouTube channel, or I could even up on Facebook or somewhere else. But yeah, so if you want to get in contact and talk about maybe some dog training or behaviour modification, it's affinitydog.com.au. So as I said, part of and I'm based in Sydney. So what I want to talk today about was an area that kind of doesn't sometimes get enough discussion, and it's such a major part of dog training. And I've already written a couple of blog posts about this, but it's such an important area that it really, it could take hours to actually cover everything. So I'll be talking today at a fairly broad level, but it's about relationship. And as I said, sometimes you'll find some canine experts or trainers, they sometimes don't even include this any real relationship work in their training program, and that's that's a real shame. That's where sometimes you don't get results, because that's the very important part that's missing. Other times, you might find other canine professionals that they hear that, oh, relationship, oh, it's a bit of a buzzword, oh, it's a bit of marketing, that I can throw in there. And again, in the actual program itself, it gets a little bit of lip service, but nothing really happens on the relationship side. And of course, I'm talking about the relationship between the owner and the dog. And it is one of those areas that it is so important, and it really is. If it comes down to it, it's where the magic happens. You hear people really wanting to see a change in their dog's behaviour and the way things are around the house. And where you get the bang for the buck and the magic happens, it's when you get that relationship sorted out. And a couple of things that have really kind of brought it home to me over the last couple of weeks or a few days or so forth, as in brought home to why I wanted to do a video on it, was number one, there's a little bit of a internet conference summit going on at the moment with a lot of the top trainers from the United States. They're coming together and they're doing talks and speeches and Q&As online, and even though they might have a different methodology or a different training techniques and little bits of different views on certain topics to do with dog training, you'll find nearly all of them are talking about relationship. There's somewhere in there that they're talking about relationship. And the other part is when there's trainers, or I find some good trainers that know what they're talking about, when they've got a hard case or they've got a special case, when they're ringing up a colleague, the conversation kind of goes even before you start talking about what kind of dog is it, the breed and the gender and how old is it. One of the first questions that comes up is, how's the relationship? Describe to me what the relationship's like between the owner and the dog. And as I said, it's so important and should really be a big part of any dog training program. And when you see those transformations and those quick changes, or those really impressive changes in a dog, it's often when you get that relationship sorted out, or that the dog can see that there has been a change in the relationship. So, and from that point, from that point of view, I'm talking about more of a leadership kind of situation, that the dog is seeing you more as a leader. And when you think about it, sometimes our relationships, like when you talk about one example is when you go to the checkout. You buy something at the shops, you go to the checkout. It's not that you have a very deep relationship with the checkout person most of the time. It's very transactional, and there's not really a deep relationship there. And that's sometimes, as I said, with some dog training, where it's you ask the dog to do something, oh, and here's a treat, there you go. Very transactional. There's not a lot of relationship building going on there. So, you've got to kind of get the dog to be kind of seeing, as I said, more of a leader and get more of a deeper relationship going. A big change that you can do to get relationships going is getting the dog to listen to you. And again, if you've got a human that you're trying to talk to them, and they're crossing their arms and they're not paying attention to you, and you can see they're not listening to you, When that person starts listening to you, that can be a big change in the relationship stakes. And that's when things can really start to happen. And that's when you do see things start to happen between like kind of a dog that like kind of has some behavioral issues. When you can get that dog to start listening, that's when you can start getting those real big behavior changes happening, and the relationship becoming more of a leadership type situation. So other things you can do is, and this is kind of part of our programs, is that like kind of through the obedience training and also the good behaviour shaping. As I said, that the dog's now listening to you, but it's also like kind of learning to relax and getting that state of mind change, and then they're seeing you as more of as a person that can guide them through things, and that's that again, that relationship really changing. And so people, when once someone sees you as someone that can help them and guide them through stuff, they're a lot more likely to listen to you, and they kind of follow your directions. So, and this is again why it's so very important, kind of getting the relationship sorted out. So anyway, as I said, this is a massive topic, and probably I'll end up doing a few more videos around it and talking about specific aspects of this. But I just wanted to really get it out there, and again, if there's something, if you're looking around to get some help with your dog and sorting out some behavioural issues, or just getting some obedience training, something or someone offering a program, you should be looking for them to be offering to work on that relationship and getting it sorted out. As always, feel free to contact me or contact Affinity Dog if you've got any questions or any comments or anything like that. However, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you all later. Thanks, bye.